We've been trying to address the whole issue of getting students ready for college and careers probably for about the last 4 or 5 years. You know, and approaching and trying to address the issue of rigor. There's this gap between where we know the students are today and where we need them to be in order to be successful when they leave high school. And somehow education has kind of stayed, well, education typically stays where the students are. So if they come on a 5th grade level, it stays on the 5th grade level. And there's no chance, if you have a 19-year-old student and you teach them at the 5th grade level, they will ever get to 10th grade level even and be able to pass the city college exam. So we said, how do we reframe all of that? And there's a popular board game that you kind of go around and you buy properties and all that. So we said, hey, does this kind of make sense? And we're using different colors to show different tracks and different paths with the goal of everyone having the opportunity, if they're willing to put in the hard work and put in the time, everyone can meet the goal, which is the ultimate goal is to kind of get your diploma and be ready for college. Everyone can get there. So it's equal opportunity.
Okay, this is Howard. This is the Howard sign-in sheet. These dots are different colors. They mean different things. It explains to us what we need to do and what we have yet to do.
They all represent Black historically colleges, HBCUs that are at the top of the level. So like the top HBCUs. So that's how we basically go about recognizing ourselves as if a sense of motivation or so much.
So this is Xavier Humanities. So the boards over here. So remember and understand our flip notes, making sure on Monday that you understand what you have just read in your notes so you can come to class the next day. And when you come the next day, you will be doing the apply, and once you do apply and you get on the apply board, you can go on to analyze the next day, which is the next classwork you have to do. And if you don't get on the analyze board, you have to go back to apply. You will be behind because you have to finish up the work to get on the board. To get to create. Create is when you're ready to take the unit exam. The way that this board is set up, basically, they won't give us a task that we can't handle. So if we don't prove that we remember and understand, we don't move ahead to apply. If we don't prove that we can apply, we don't move on to create, and eventually we don't take the unit test. And it may seem like, okay, if we don't get these things done, we'll be behind, but the school, what Mr. Prince and Mr. Aaron are trying to do, get us prepared step by step and not just throw us into things that we can't handle. So they make us go through these steps to prove, okay, I can do this, now I can do that, now I can do that, and eventually then we take the unit test. And even if we are behind, like some kids, they feel like, okay, I just don't do it, but I can still take my unit test. Without those things on the board, you don't get to take the unit exam, but it's a must. So still got to do it anyway. So this is our math class, Howard's math class. We will have a student explain to you what we do. Robert, could you explain what you're doing? Pull up your piece.
How you doing? My name is Robert. Today we apply and analyze, which we got to get up on board. We're reviewing everything that we've been doing for the past couple weeks. And right now we have to perform the matrix operation, provide an appropriate response, evaluate the determinant, and then we got to solve problems using the Crane's rule. That's all we're doing so far.
Okay.
Basically, you have to take unit tests. Unit tests are basically your way to move around on the success board. Like, in order for we take a unit test every 3 weeks. So once you pass the unit test, you move up on the success board.
Okay, this is the humanities poster. These are reference texts, which I showed you on the first floor. This is the wretch of the earth and the people's history of the United States. This is the reading schedule, and these are the questions from 1 through 30. And the writing schedule is paragraph development. Week 2, we got peer editing, and week 3 is the final draft, which we are working on as of now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's hard to be left behind with this poster because it takes you literally step by step into what you should be doing week by week. If a student misses class, as long as you are reading this book like you are supposed to, you should never be left behind based on this board, because it will tell you
in week 1. It tells you week by week what you are supposed to accomplish. So it's hard to be behind if you notice this poster and go by the units and the weeks. Everything about CYDI and Mr. Aaron and Mr. Prince and other staff, they make it really hard for us to be unsuccessful versus being successful because they give us so many resources. It's hard for us to make up an excuse to why our work isn't done. We have entirely too many resources. We have posters everywhere. We have Maroons Net. These teachers are here around the clock to help us with anything we need. So they make it hard for us to be unsuccessful.
Basically, this is MaroonsNet. MaroonsNet is basically just an online website where we can go get the books that we read for class, or the flip slips that we do on Monday if you miss, or the notes, anything from your level of the school.
Who,
We got Fish
who knows
Math,
something about your
Howard
class?
Math, Xavier Math,
really
and then we
know?
got all the books that each
I need
level
somebody
reads.
to
So
tell
if the kid loses his
Okay.
book or doesn't have his book at home at that time, they can just go on MaroonsNet and click on the book and read it online.
We're giving kids the metacognition skills, so we're asking them to understand whether they've mastered the material or not, and then take responsibility for ensuring that they spend the extra time to make sure they master it. So I think the difference is putting kind of the onus on the kid and saying, like, I'm here for you, but you also need to understand your own learning and be able to manage your own learning, because going into college, nobody's there to manage your learning for you. So we need to teach you how to do those things.